We are live. Okay. There's so much space over here. I cover up everything. There we go. Can y'all? Is there anyone here? I don't know. Let me read this out. Okay, I'm gonna mute. Okay, hopefully everything looks okay, sounds okay. Don't know if there's anyone here. Is there anyone here? I don't think so, I don't know. Let me go do my Twitter things. I have water. I feel like I need to, hold on. I need to move my blankets and stuff to the other side of the bed. Why didn't I do this already? I don't know. Now let me scoot over here. Hopefully that looks better. Oh, I have AirPods in. I'm a mess. Ah, they're falling. It's falling. Are we live again? Is everything fine? Are we good? Thank you. Okay, so you can see me. Everything, does it look okay? Can you hear me okay? What's that? Oh, that's, let me move that out of frame. Okay. Now let me send out the Twitter notification. Let me send out the Twitter notifications and Discord notifications that I'm live really quick. Then we will get into the stories. I have 4 stories saved off of the No Sleep subreddit on Twitter, on Reddit. So give me a minute. Like my hoodie, it is the Aunt Frost X Dream Clothing merch. I'm a mess. I mean, I'm always a mess. You don't come to my streams for perfect. go. Now I have tweeted it. Let me go do it on Discord really quick, and then we'll probably wait another minute or two to let anyone who wants to show up. There we go. Now, view my dashboard. Okay, so I did all that. I will give it a minute. So we'll give it a minute and wait for anyone to show up. Hey. Okay. So give it a minute or two. Trying my best here. Oh, my hair's a mess. I'm trying to speak up and not mumble and stuff because I do tend to mumble a lot. Let me know if I do start to mumble or anything. So. Okay. Giving it a minute. Hopefully my Wi-Fi doesn't decide to bum out today. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start with the first story. Oh, wait, I lied. I'm gonna check my email really quick. Because I'm in the middle of trying to recover my Steam account that I bought stuff on. Okay, no update. So, now, for real. First story. Let me take a sip of water. And put my gum up. You probably don't want to hear me chewing gum. Okay, so the first story is off of the subreddit No Sleep by Hyper Obstruction. Okay. Hold on, I will show it to you. There we go. There you go, that's who it's by, because I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, because English is hard. Okay, so, every once in a while, I'm an exorcist, but my latest case has me questioning everything I believe. That's the title. It's with a heavy heart that I'm writing this, seriously. I never really considered how much a human heart weighed before holding one in my own hand. Makes sense, I suppose. It's like a big old flesh knot of muscles and after all. Squeezing it repeatedly did nothing to relieve me of the nerve-wracking stress, though. Just a little FYI for you here. Did stain my fucking suit something fierce, but it was already covered in gallons of violently green vomit, making me incense a walking piece of utterly tasteless abstract art. Some DIY in the FYI there. But I'm a DIY kind of guy, if you catch my drift. Hey, Harris! Mrs. Williams shrieked hysterically. What have you done? She stood in the doorway, pale as an albino ghost, eyes wide with shock, and I couldn't for the life of me stop squeezing her daughter's fleshly served heart. Muscle memory of or some shit. I said, nervous glances cast at the blood dripping heart. I think I fucked up big time. Let's rewind a little bit though, cause I'm getting ahead of myself. In Medusa Res, they call it, you know, when you drop the reader right smack into the middle of the story like some kind of deranged lunatic. Always found that to be a cop-out. Need a little build-up, you know? No, nail some pieces of flesh into the skeleton of your narrative. Doesn't need to be fresh. Just need to hang around long enough for the story to make sense. I sat down with Mrs. Williams in vast countryside estate earlier that day. Our initial correspondence had been conducted solely via use of email. My mails kept ending up in her spam folder though, which made the whole ordeal kind of awkward, but that's what you get considering Come Lord 666 asterisk as your address, I guess. I feel I need to clarify, Come Lord in this context is simply an acronym for coming under my Lord, which upon closer inspection really doesn't clarify shit. So, Mrs. Williams, I said, carefully unbinding a very important looking folder, tell me about your daughter. Susan, Mrs. Williams murmured, her pale face stained with worry and red wine. Her name is Susan. Susan Williams, I noted, raising an eyebrow. Such a grandma name. I'm sorry, Mrs. Williams said, tone slight of annoyance. I'm just saying, ma'am, can I call you ma'am? Yes. The fuckers that is to say that demons, and more often than not, attracted to weird fucking names. Susan and Williams, both pretty run-of-the-mill names. Just a professional observation for you here. For you there. Her middle name is... I can't pronounce... Agoraphobia. It's weird, I don't know how to pronounce it. I said, scribbling wildly in my notebook. That'll do it, I reckon. It all started about a month ago, Mrs. Williams continued, her head swung low, as if in shame or embarrassment. She started acting differently, throwing tantrums, violent outbursts, things of that nature. So out of character, she was always so sweet and gentle. Yeah, demons like to clean old slate for the black fuckery, demonic energy to wreak havoc in. That's why they'll usually target children or dogs. Dogs? Oh man, yeah, fuck me. You wouldn't believe how many Cujos I've had to put down. Put down? Anyway, I coughed up from my chair. Any chance I'll get to see an old spinny head. I don't know if you've caught on yet, but I have this technique where I defense my awkward situation by making it even more awkward, including this sort of overload of awkwardness. Never fails, let me tell you. Mrs. Williams looked around confusedly, nodding in my general direction, and beckoned for me to follow her. Let me take a sip of water. Let me make this a little less bright for me. There you go. Swanky old place, I noted, admiring all the precious antiques, priceless paintings, lavish marble statues, the unnecessarily large chandeliers, and the general filthy ridiculousness of the interior design. Old money, I'm guessing. Blood diamonds? Money laundering, maybe? Slaves? Sex trafficking? Miss Williams gasped audibly and stopped dead in her tracks. Mr. Harris! You are out of line! My apologies, ma'am. But it's just another professional observation, you see. The fuckers are initially drawn to insufferable assholes. Pardon? Despicable human beings. They're drawn to wretched souls, like a leech to an eyeball. And you seem alright. A little stuck up, maybe, but nothing to write home to an infernal pit about. So I'm guessing your husband, Father, dear old Grandpappy Williams, maybe? Mrs. Williams snorted in contentment, turns around on the dime, and continued down the endless hallway in a rather brisk pace. My lights are cold. There we go. Was it something I said? I shrugged, hustling after her. We probably turned a dozen corners, sanctured by gorgeous bust of Plato Audios, bunch of other artists, before we finally stood outside Susan Williams' bedroom. Mrs. Williams knocked gently 3 times and whispered a hush. Darling, are you awake? A series of deep, guttural growls from within would indicate that she was. I just said that right. I must warn you, Mr. Harris, Miss Williams said. She is not herself. It's kind of the deal with demonic possessions, I noted professionally, carefully turning the doorknob. Little flashback here. In my case, 12 years ago, sweet old boy named Horgan Schmitty. I sat with him for 9 days and 8 nights, with his head spinning in the old 360 constantly, with some unstoppable human carousal or something. He'd vomit and shit too. Classic possession, really. Except that's where the similarities with the movies end. Well, there's also an insistent cursing and fucked up lashing. But we'll get into that. Anyway, little Horgan, rest in pieces, soon started bursting at the seams. That's what happens when your head's spinning and zero G runs rampant. You gotta control that shit or they'll turn to minced meat sooner than you can say. Power of Christ compels you to unclean your spirit born from the rotting nether womb. I'll fuck you and your God in the ass, Horton growled. Not cool, man, I said with my crucifix around theatrically. Not cool. In the ass! I'm not ashamed to say that I let a rather high-pitched shriek as Horton's head flew off the body, the bloody thing rolling to full stop mere inches from my feet. For some reason, I guess maybe instinct gave it with a forceful kick, and could do nothing but watch as it soared through the room, crashed through the window, landed in the middle of Schmitty's neighbor's lawn. Whew, that is a mouthful. Imagine having to explain that to the boss. Point is, since I've learned to expect everything when dealing with dark presence, but nothing, I repeat, nothing could have prepared me for what was waiting in that godforsaken bedroom. A quick peek, a muffled scream, some vomit in my mouth, then a quick decision to slam that door shut again. Mrs. Harris. Mr. Harris? Mrs. Williams placed a hand on my shoulder. Are you alright? Yes, I muttered. That's a fucking stage 5 demonic possession. Pardon? I've never actually seen before. You can tell by how the child has grown multiple spider-like appendages. Some of the wit have heads of their own. I told you, Mr. Harris. Ms. Williams said. She's not herself. Yeah, you weren't fucking kidding. I brushed away her hand, stabilizing myself against the wall. So, right, I need a moment here. Hi, what are we reading? We are reading a story. We are reading a story off of the Reddit No Sleep. Off of the Reddit's No Sleep, which is every once in a while I'm an exorcist, but this latest case is the worst or something. I'm like in the middle of the story right now. Thank you for stopping by. Where was I? Okay, right. Well, we haven't got all day. Her father will be home soon, and I'd very much like to have this sorted before then. You are an insufferable asshole, aren't you? I whispered under my breath. What's that? I'm going to need full discretion on this, ma'am. Loose fucking reins. When I go into that room, all bets are off. It's me against the satanic fuckers. Do you understand? Mrs. Williams nodded hesitantly. I understand. You have my permission to do whatever it takes to liberate my daughter from that wretched thing. Famous last words. I sent her on her way, explaining that I need some privacy to conduct a thorough research of the subject and decide on the details of my exorcistic approach. In reality, though, I couldn't risk her eavesdropping in on us. Oh, thank you for the follows. Thank you, Sunshine Ultra and Epicness Auto. Thank you for the follow. Susan? I inquired gently, turning the doorknob yet again. It's me. I'm Thomas Harris, and I'm here to help you get better. Ah! The 5 heads encircling the hovering body of Susan Williams growled and using the Black Father! The sight of her was enough to send me spiraling to the floor, heaving for my breath. I've been scared shitless before, you know. Comes with the territory, I guess, but nothing quite like this. She was hovering midair over her body, classic white nightgown draped across a rotting body, head snapped at an awkward angle, 5 jet black appendages with spindly and hairy, all spindly and hairy and horrible as fuck, protruded from her abdomen at the end of which were 5 mangled and misshapen heads. They looked kindly with what you expect a human head split down the middle would look like. All skin and flesh flapping around the exposed brain, eyes dangling down the sides from worm-like trindles. Shh, shh, I murmured, face buried in a rather... Yes, I do believe in ghosts. Shh, I murmured, face buried in a rather expensive carpet. The other might still hear us. Bit of a backstory is required here. I do apologize, though. I really didn't plan this post beforehand, thus I'm kind of all over the place in my narrative design. It'll all make sense in the end, though. Scout's honor. Let me take a sip of water. Okay, back to the story. It all started with my grandmother. It all started with my grandmother, Wynonia Petroluma Harris. Heartless hag, voice like a pig. My question. Do you believe? Yes, I do believe in ghosts. Voice like a pig, mid-slaughter. Why do ghosts only appear in the dark, lonely Why do ghosts only appear in the dark, lonely places with the only person to witness? Why don't they appear at Starbucks? Sometimes spirit, I rather use the term spirits. Okay, I'm gonna take a pause in the story for a minute. Personally, I've experienced paranormal stuff, like, during the day, and with my friends. Oh, no, you're not bothering. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I quite enjoy talking about paranormal stuff. I've experienced paranormal stuff, like, it was, like, in the afternoon. It's fine. I've experienced stuff, like, literally after, like, one time in middle school, after school, we were doing tutoring, and our teacher, there was a door decoration contest, and me and my best friend were there, doing tutoring, and our teacher asked us to go take pictures of all the doors, because it was a small building. It was a medium-sized to small building, and asked us to go take pictures, and me and her were with us, and, like, it was dark. We were, like, the only people in the building, like, us and the other kids and my teacher, and we were in the hallway, and the store was, like, open, so we were like, oh, we were like, oh, why is it open? All the doors are supposed to be shut. So we went to walk over, and it slammed shut in front of us, and we ran back screaming. So I have seen them, but usually most ghosts just like to come out at night, because I guess it's just when the energy is, it was scaring. I've had other things happen at that school too, so yeah, but I've seen things during the day before. That's just one of few. I mean, it's not always scary. I've encountered peaceful ones, so it's not always bad. It's scary. But mainly, I think it happens at night is because it's just easier for them. I guess the energy and the veil between our world and theirs is easier. It's easier for them to cross over and mess with us, I guess, in a sense. So yeah. Okay, so now, we will get back to the story. Start over. It all started with my a ghost can't kill you, because if it did, then you would become a ghost, and it'd be really awkward. I mean, technically they can't physically kill you. I don't believe they can physically kill you like they portray in horror movies. But, I mean, like, they could, like, scare you enough to where you have a heart attack and die. So, technically, I guess they could. But not, like, actually, like, physically killing you, like, in horror movies and stuff. Which is crazy. I can do, like, a story time stream of just, like, paranormal stories that I've experienced. That, stories I've been told, like, in urban legends and stuff. I can do one of those, next, you know. Okay, so we will, if that is all your questions, then we will get back to the story. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Okay. Okay, we'll go back to the story. Thanks for trying. Oh, no problem. Thank you for following. Thank you so much. Welcome. Welcome. Hope you fun. So now back to the story. It's nice chatting to you too. It all started with my grandmother Wynonia. Petroluma Harris. Heartless hag, voice like a pig, mid-slaughter. But a blood relative all the same. In any case, she truly despised my grandmother. My grandpa, Bentard. And such as she made it her life's mission to have him murdered, I can respect that, you know. We've all been there. We don't all sleep around with demons to make it happen, though. Long story short, there's a very real chance I've gotten some demon blood in me. And my family has been working for the Netherlords ever since. I'm what you call a black father. Cool title for an utterly shit job. In essence, I'm little but a glorified babysitter, posing as a man of the cloth, an exorcist, to ensure that the possessed host survives the demonic transformation. We're all legion, the heads hissed, and we are many. We will not hold our tongues. Legion, I asked. Like, there's barely a handful of you. I think you'd be really good at podcasts. Oh, thank you. Silence! Right, I mumbled, staggering to my feet. Point is, you're killing the host. She won't survive it. That is your fucking problem, father. All I'm asking is, I darted a quick glance at one of the heads, but immediately regretted it. That you, slow down, you know? Denied! The heads growled, instantly erupting in violent fountains of projectile vomit, the majority of which was aimed in my general direction. I took quite a few gallons to my suit. In the increasing pressure of unparalleled unchuck quickly sent me back to the floor, kneeling before the regurgitating legion. It was almost ripe for the happening by the looks of it. That's when the demon fully emerges, ripping the human host into pieces as the dark presence squeezes its unholy ass all the way from hell into our reality. As long as the host lives through the initial stages, it's all good. But if the child or dog should die before that, well, let's just say that the demons don't particularly enjoy being in half in, half out. We call that a turtle berthel where I'm from. Fine. I said, just a few more minutes and you should be good. I'll just drag her down, strap her to the bed maybe, restrain those G-forces and all that. Acceptable. A sip of water. I kept my eyes on the ground as I slowly made my way towards the bed. The drip, drip, drip of vomit and other bodily fluids, the only sound in the room. I reached out my arm blindly, soon enough grabbing hold of Susan's right ankle. I proceeded to drag her down to the bed and strapped her down using the bed sheets and took a few steps back. And then I heard, "Thomas." An inhuman voice emerging from Susan's throat uttered, "They're lying to you." I'd recognize that from anywhere. It sounded exactly like a pig mid-slaughter. "Grandma?" I mumbled, staring at the girl in utter perplexity. The squirming heads danced back and forth in the air hypnotically, but they seemed strangely distant. Susan's body had started convulsing in jarring spasms, and I knew we didn't have much time before she'd pop like a pus-filled boil. I don't have much time, Thomas," Grandma explained. "I can't hold them back for long. We've been fucking had, my boy. You're not of Satan's bloodline. None of you are. And they don't fucking spare you. Come the I don't know how to say that. It's a lot to take in there, Grandma. I'm not sure I follow. The Legion is the start, Thomas. You draft fucking Imbizzle, I think. He is coming. And he'll wear your sack of shit pasty white ass like a necktie if you don't stop him. Stop him how? Kill the child for start. Carve out her fucking heart. Sounds a bit extreme, bordering on fucking insane. I'm so sorry, Thomas. Is this too much? Do you find the prospect of murdering an innocent child to save the fucking world to be a step too far? I mean, yes. Well, fuck your feelings, Thomas. It's the only way. But you have to do it right the fuck now. Fuck's sake, Grams. I murmured, digging around in my suitcase for my ceremonial dagger. There we go, I got it. I'm dyslexic, by the way, so I have a hard time with words sometimes. Enough! The 5 heads suddenly boomed. The sonic outburst caused me to stumble back confusedly. We will not be deceived! We will not be deceived! There we go, that was better. Ooh, excuse me. Bit too late there, Legion. I grinned, pointing at the dagger sticking out of the child's heart. What the? Oh my god! Guess it's limbo life for you lads. Impasse! The heads, along with the spindly appendages, oozed black pus and slime for a split second before turning to mushy flesh goo. Mushy flesh goo before my eyes. After swallowing some emerging upchuck. I quickly leapt towards the body of Susan Williams and carved out her still beating heart. Oh my god. What the? Oh my god. Just like sweet old Grams had instructed. Oh my god, these people are insane. My god. This is fucked up, I whispered to myself, squeezing the heart deliriously like it was a squishy old stress ball. Oh my god. I did not read the story beforehand, nor any of the other stories I have saved, but we're probably just gonna do this story today. We might do another one today. Maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how long this one lasts. So, hope y'all are enjoying so far. Mr. Harris! Mrs. Williams shrieked hysterically. What have you done? And here we are, back to the beginning of my riveting tale, full circle, as it were. Masterful storytelling, if I do say so myself. Moving on, I gently handed Susan's heart over to her mother. Poor thing, still pale as an albino ghost in my doorway. In the doorway. I gotta say though, man, I've done some messed up shit in my line of work. No doubt, but nothing quite like this. We're coming back for you, Black Father, Mrs. Williams whispered in my ear as we awkwardly parted ways. And we're gonna fuck you and your god in the ass. Not cool, man. Not cool. That is the end of this story. That was fucking insane. Again, this is, if you want to go check it out yourself, this is it. That was insane. I enjoyed that. How did y'all? Did y'all enjoy the story? Did y'all like it? Don't even know if who's all here. Okay. Hopefully, so, insane story. Like I said again, how did you enjoy? Okay. Shall we do another story? Are y'all up for one more story? What do y'all think? One more story, or are y'all tired? Not getting any response. Oh. Did everyone leave? Now that the story is over. Okay. I'm up for another story. So we are going to. This one is. On this date 30 years ago, a little girl just disappeared from the playground as her family watched. And here you go if you want to go. Check it out for yourself. There we go. Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna go check it out for yourself. There you go. Okay. I was 7 years old when I lost my best friend. You don't have to worry about Bloody Mary outside because she only lives in mirrors. Mirrors that are in the bathrooms when you're alone. Natara promised me. I feel the feeling that Mom called butterfly stomach, but was really just a sick feeling while my insides burned and my heart beat faster. Jason said that you can see her if you walk backwards though. Through the tunnel, I explained while pointing to an oversized cylinder that lay on its side in the sand. Everyone in our first grade class had tried to climb the cylinder, but we couldn't grip any part of its smooth surface. Jason once made it almost to the top, but then he sank down back to the sand in the middle of the playground. The sky was very overcast. All the kids played very quietly. Well, I'm not going through the tunnel. You can if you want to, I explained, crossing my arms and walking away, just like Mom did when she was letting Dad know that he had a stupid idea. Natara turned to move and yanked her leg. It stayed in place. We both looked down at her shoe. It sunk into the sand, which was now covering her toes. She tried to pull her leg out, but that one didn't move either. Natara grunted harder. She reached for my arm so that I could help pull her free. I jumped back like her hand could burn me. She looked at me just once. I couldn't look back at her, but I still felt her gaze. Instead, I moved my feet back and forth to make sure that I wasn't getting stuck in the sand. When I finally turned to face her, Natara was digging into the sand around her feet, grunting as she tugged. That's when the sound turned into crying. They didn't stop. Her mom and dad didn't come right away because we had finally gotten to the age when they were happy to let us hurt on our own just for a little bit. But her crying got louder, and as soon as Mom had stalked through the sand to find out what trouble she'd gotten into, when Natara said that her foot was stuck, her mom grabbed her waist and pulled her. When that didn't work, she bent down and grabbed her daughter's ankles. When that didn't work, she scolded Natara and called over her husband. By that point, the sand was up to Natara's ankles. She was crying without stopping. Natara's dad was a big man who put his beer in the sand and talked fast with his wife, then grabbed Natara's ankle and pulled. He fell into the sand right on his butt and stayed there. Natara's parents looked at each other for a few seconds, just staring without talking. The way that all adults do without thinking that kids know they're communicating. Then he got on his feet and dug around the shoes. He takes a sip of water. As I watched, new sand filled whenever he dug a handful out. The ground stayed perfectly level no matter how fast he moved. He used a lot of curse words. The sand had reached Natara's knees when he screamed and swore his friends to come help. 2 men walked through the sand where we stood and started digging. They didn't get any further. One of them ran away and came back with a shovel. I watched him cut deep into the sand, pull out a heaping load, and threw far behind him. By the time he thrust one more in, the sand had refilled. Natara's cries had been replaced with a low, burbling moan. But her mom had started up when Natara left off, alternating between loud sobbing and swearing at her husband to move faster. The man with the shovel had given up and was walking away from them, but he didn't stop until he had stepped out of the sand pit, watching safely from his new position with on the grass. I followed him, walking carefully around Natara. She pivoted her head to follow me, eyes streaming continuous tears as the circumnavigate a distance far enough so that she couldn't hug or pull me. By the time I reached the grass, the sand was crushing her ribs. Natara. I'm just gonna call her Natara because that's what I keep saying. Natara held her hands up high so they wouldn't get stuck down. She told her parents that it was hard to breathe because the sand was wrapping itself around her chest. Her mom and dad each held one of her hands, but they stayed as far from her as they possibly could. Natara let her elbows fall into the sand after it had reached her armpits. She was just too tired to keep holding them up. Once her palms touched the sand, her mom and dad looked at each other again quietly, for a few unblinking seconds. Again then was when thinking that we didn't understand. At the same time, they let go of their daughter's fingers. Natara wanted to cry, she really did, but it was hard for her to breathe. She could only squeeze out a few words. Am I going to die? Her voice was very raspy. Natara's mom and dad just looked at each other. Okay. Taking the hood off. It didn't take long for her arms to disappear beneath the sand. With nothing left to hold, Natara's parents stepped away. The ground was up to her chin. I'm gonna lay back a little bit. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna put you over here and have that pointed. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so I can... How does that look? Hopefully that looks okay. So I just want to lay back. Let me not pull my flag down. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now back to the story. With nothing... Okay. The ground was up to her chin, but she could still see everything. Her mom and dad were both crying. Don't let me die alone. Then she couldn't speak anymore because it swallowed her jaw. I know she wanted someone to hold her, to touch her, to make human connection. That's the only reason existence is worthwhile at all. So that her life journey would finish in love instead of nothingness. She didn't get that. I wondered if it would have been kinder to push the sand over her nose so that she drowned faster, but I wasn't that brave. I watched as her final breath sucked sand into her nose, and she winced like she was about to cough it all out, but she froze like that, eyes burning, ears popping, throat scratching, and lungs filling with sand instead of air. Her bloodshot eyes bounced faster than I thought a human could make them go. And I knew that she was feeling more pain than children believe is possible. We did nothing as Natara suffered more panic and loneliness than parents allow their children to think a person can feel. When her eyes caught mine for a fraction of a second, I knew that she wanted to die. Then her eyes bounced around more, driven by the animalistic fear at the deepest part of our brains that tells our dying minds to swim into the nothingness. We all have the ability to hurt so badly that we wish our parents had never lived. Natara had sunk fast at first. I don't know if it was my imagination, but she seemed to get stuck in this particular spot for a long time. It must have been in my head, otherwise she would have died quickly. But in my memory, she stayed there, eyes turning from white to red as her father collapsed and sobbed while her mother stared like a statue, just like a broken statue that would have never been whole. She didn't close her eyes when the sand eventually consumed them, the grain scratching her bloody corneas as she finally went blind. She saw me watching her. She knew I chose nothing to do, and Natara was completely alone. And the last wisp of hair disappeared. And that's the end of that story, I believe. Yeah, that's the end of that story. That one was shorter than the other one for sure. So that was 2 of the stories. And now we've been streaming for about almost an hour now. Don't know if anyone's left. But if you are, hopefully you're enjoying. And really enjoyed my stories. I don't know if anyone is here. Like I said, I don't know. But we might end it here. Let me look at see how long the other stories I have are. Okay, this one isn't too long. Hello. Okay, the other ones aren't too long. We could do. Do y'all want one more? Do y'all want another story? Would y'all like another one? Heard of shampoo? Yes, I've heard of shampoo. Why? Because my hair. Yeah, I know my hair. I know my hair looks a little greasy. It's not. It's not. I washed my hair the other day. Yeah, they're what I got. I don't know where the thingy for them are. Where's the case? Oh, here's the case. I found the case. Here looks like a barcode. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you. My hair, I know my hair's a mess. I'm gonna dye it as soon as the pink and as soon as the purple in the back washes all the way out. I'll be dyeing it again. I'll be dyeing it just pink. Is that the Romanian? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the pansexual flag. It's not. Not. Oh. It is the pansexual flag. Not the Romanian flag. It's okay. It's okay. And then we also have the trans flag up there, which I painted up there. And I have the pan flag again right here, which I painted as well. Where's the pansexual? Where's pansexual? At Pansexual Island. Is located at Pansexual Island. Is that imaginary island? Yes. Yeah. But there is an island called Disappointment Island somewhere, so. What, on Pansexual Island or Disappointment Island? And so, yes, everyone has all rights in Pansexual Island. Yeah. Yep. Everyone has rights. What do you mean you thought y'all did something? What? Can I mud? Oops. What? That sentence, that doesn't make sense. Skin on the op. Can you please use proper grammar? Please. Can you please don't spam? Oh, okay. Please don't spam. I don't even know what you're saying. But please don't spam. Thank you. Anyone else want to? So, okay, do y'all want another story? Because I have two other stories. I have one that is, I found an old iPod in the street and it somehow knew about my mother's death. That's one story. And then we have another, which is called ... hello? ... question mark? What are, your mom dead. that's the name of the story. My mom is very much alive and in the living room. But is that the story you want to hear? Hold on. Sorry about that. My mom walked in. Oh, your mom. Is that why you're questionable? Your head is. What language do you speak? I speak English. I'm trying to learn Spanish. But I speak English. So yeah. My head is very round. Okay. And I can't help that. That's I literally I can't tell if you're trying to be mean or just a troll. Can you not spam? Please, I will. Don't make me have to time you out, please. I really don't want to. I don't understand what you're trying to say. Okay, well, okay, but just please just be respectful. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. You don't have to like me or my sexuality or that I'm trans or pan, but I just ask that you be respectful. Thank you. Please just be respectful. This is a judgment-free zone. Thank you. That's all I ask. No. Please, I literally just asked you to be respectful. I really don't want to ban you, but so can you please just be respectful? I'm not gonna cry. I honestly can care less whether you like me or not, but I do ask that you be respectful because this is a safe space for all people of any sexuality. Please, and you please just be respectful. Like, I'm literally just asking you to be nice. And I've literally okay. Whatever. Okay, whatever. Moving on. I want to read another story, but also don't know if I have my voice and dyslexia has it in me to read another story. So Does anyone want another story? Let's see if I can find a shorter. Okay, this one. Okay, this one's a shorter one. And this one is called "It's Always Watching Me" by the Dead Files, which I will show you. There you go. Okay, now we will get to the reading. I'm not crazy. It's just your eyes playing tricks on you, they said. Maybe you need to lay off the watching TV before bed. As if I've been seeing and hearing over these past few months has been all inside my head. How can they dismiss me? How can they not understand the danger I'm in? How can they not comprehend the immediate danger to my very life and ignore my pleas for help? I'm so very tired, and I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm writing this as a final effort. One more try to figure out what is haunting me, watching me, always watching me. Water. Got to hydrate. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. It started as something I would see out of the corner of my eye. It would be so quick, but I know what I saw was real. Over time, it became more obvious. The flashes in the far reaches of my vision became quick reflections in the mirror. I'd blink and it would be gone, but the terror of what I saw would remain. I would see it dark, pale, and yet almost beautiful eyes watching me, staring at me from the vents from other cars as I drove, and my phone's camera when I'd go to take a picture. Just watching me, always watching me, forever silent, but deafening, but so deafening I could not focus on anything else, invisible to all else around me, but in plain sight. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I tried seeking help. My friends, family, coworkers all told me it was in my head, that I was making me up. I spoke to the police and they laughed out of the station. Of course they didn't believe me. They thought I was playing trick or treat, or that I might be crazy. I thought maybe they were right. I sought out the aid of a shrink who could help, who with little help himself. I'd lay on his soft leather couch and tell him about the things I've seen, all while those dark, pale eyes and beautiful eyes were watching me. Always, always watching me. It never sleeps. It never blinks. It never breaks its gaze on me. And I even see it in my dreams. I'm not crazy. Now I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of trying to explain, to rationalize, to fight. I'm so very tired. I can see it now, right in front of me. I see it as clearly as if I can see as I can see the screen. It's staring at me over my laptop as I write what was supposed to be a last last-ditch effort for help and explanation, but now I think it shall be my eulogy. I feel the sense of calm washing over me as it's beginning to creep towards me. I can see all of it now. It's terrifying, yet magnificent. All this time I was afraid. Why? It was watching, always watching. Now it's offering a hand and wishes to take me away from all this. I stare into its dark, pale, and beautiful eyes. I feel nothing, absolutely nothing. It's so peaceful. I'm not crazy. Okay, I'm getting a phone call. Hold on.